Hey, this is Redban, and you're listening to the Death Squad Podcast Network. This episode of Muff Said and all the podcasts that we do here at Death Squad can always be found at deathsquad.tv and on iTunes under Death Squad. Please subscribe to us on iTunes, and don't forget to leave us a rating and a review. Those things help us out a lot. Also, if you do a lot of shopping at Amazon.com, if you could just go to deathsquad.tv first and click on the big shop button on the right side, that will open up Amazon like normal, but anytime you make a purchase using that link, we get a few pennies every time you spend $1. Also, the Death Squad store is open. Just go to deathsquad.tv, click on Death Squad store, and there's t-shirts and stickers available. More are coming in stock. These are limited edition, though, so pretty soon they'll be sold.
Keely. I am here with Brian Redban, the man I could not do this without. And this is our biggest show ever. It's so big. I'm wearing my Wonder Woman outfit. That's awesome. If you aren't watching live, you should be on Ustream because it's really sparkly. In studio tonight, we have best-selling author Chad Kutlgen, who is also a Magic the Gathering fan and massive video game player.
I don't know about fan, but I am a veteran of the game.
And executive producer of Call of Duty, Mark Rubin. Woo! Yeah, Mark Rubin is my favorite person to take anywhere because I walk into a room and people are like, oh, you do porn, and they want to talk to me like a lot. But when I get with Mark, all anyone wants to do is talk to him about Call of Duty. It's kind of great.
It's the only video game that I was telling him earlier. It's the only video game that I've ever played. Every single one of them from start to finish and beat them before, I did it in the first couple days. I didn't leave the house. That's how much that game means to me. I mean, it's definitely my favorite video game ever made.
And now you get to meet the man behind the magic.
It's so weird.
It was also the game that I played every day for about 4 or 5 hours until Diablo came out yesterday. So I'm sorry. My apologies. But I've already pre-ordered the next Call of Duty.
Because I'm busy playing Diablo.
It has to get made. It has to be made. Sorry. I mean, you can't shirk that responsibility to the world.
How'd you meet these guys? How do you know so many cool people, Ryan? That's just weird to me.
I've got taters, and I can talk about comic books. Well, I know.
What's taters?
Meow.
I don't get it.
Taters.
I don't understand.
You don't understand?
No.
Gratuitous. Yeah. So those are taters. So I know Chad because Stoya, who I'm a good friend with, I don't know. She wasn't really a character in your third book.
No, there was a character who became mildly obsessed with her porno movies in my last book, and then as a result of that, I think my publisher contacted her. She did a little publicity for that book, and when she was in LA last, wanted to come out to dinner, and then she said, "Can I bring my friend Ryan?" And that was you. So
the way that worked is Stoya was like, "I really want to meet Chad Kutlgen. I don't want to meet his penis. Can you come to dinner with us and chaperone?"
Sorry.
And I was like, "Well, where are you going?" She's like, "I don't know." She's like, and I was like, "Well, can we get steak?"
But wait, just for the record. So the implication there is that I'm a rapist. That if you hadn't been there, she was going to meet my penis no matter what.
She didn't think that you're gonna be that kind of guy, but right. She just wanted to be sure. Because the thing about being a girl that works in the industry is that sometimes people do randomly show you their penis.
What?
Yeah.
Is it like a job interview? Or
it's more of a well, you do this on camera. Because, there's things that happen in porno movies that would never happen in real life. Like, I call it porno logic.
Okay.
Like the burglar will, break into the house and the girl will be, sleeping in the sexy sheets. And she'll wake up and she'll be like, "Oh, God, you broke into my house. But you're here, so I should just blow you." And it's porno logic.
Wait,
and
that's actually how my parents met.
Yeah. That's normal.
So sometimes people assume that because we're in porn, you can pull things that happen in a porn movie with us in real life, and that's not true. But, and so then Chad and I hit it off, and I love and adore him, and he's awesome.
And great author. I only read the first 1/3 of the book, but I was enjoying myself, and then somebody stole it and read and they read the whole thing, so I haven't got to finish it yet. But because of the subject matter, do you want to talk about the book that I was reading was The Average American Male? Do you want to kind of give an idea of what these books are about? Are they all very similar, all the different titles that you do?
No, I mean, they're about different characters and stuff, but they all deal pretty heavily with sexuality and kind of how that defines our identity and culture. And the last book, Men, Women, and Children, was kind of about how technology is shaping younger kids and how, like, a 12-year-old kid today, I remember my friends when I was 12 and 13, we would find our dad's Playboy stash, and that was kind of our first introduction to sexuality, an indirect introduction through our parents. And now a kid who's 12 has seen every kind of porn on the internet before they even kiss a girl. So they'll never again have that time where their parents are involved in it in any way. The last book was kind of about that, but they're all very raunchy, or I guess they're very sexually explicit. I just finished actually writing the sequel to the book that you're talking about, Average American Male. Average American Marriage, where that deplorable asshole is now married with children. And it's also very disgusting. The first chapter is about how he's 69ing with his wife, and he looks up into the taint area and sees her episiotomy scar and becomes disgusted with it. Enjoy that, Mom and Dad.
I have to Google that one.
Yeah, right.
That book will be out sometime next year. But
it seems like you have a lot of humor in these books also, I noticed, because I didn't get to a lot, but watching her read it for the last couple of days, she was laughing a lot. Do you have any kind of stand-up in you, or do you have some friends that...
I also write TV comedy and comedy movies. I personally have never done stand-up. I don't know that I ever would, but I enjoy a good chuckle.
Cool.
So I try to give some to other people as well.
So that's Chad. And on to
The best segue by Wonder Woman ever. I got to see Wonder Woman squeeze her tits and then make a horrible segue.
I woke up from a nap today. I'm still not entirely awake. And I'm going to be drunk in like 20 minutes. So
because of this beer you brought. What the fuck is
get
this beer?
ready for this magnificent podcast.
I'll have another one if you have those over there.
Beers are in the fridge.
Small fridge over there.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Beer me, bitch. So I know Mark Rubin because we have mutual friends. I went down to see my friends Des and Danny race Mini Coopers, and they'd been harassing me to hang out, and I got down there, and Mark was there, and we ended up talking about nerd stuff like all day. It was awesome. And then we briefly dated, and then now he's dating one of my friends.
Oh,
Yeah.
lucky.
Yeah. She's
She's
more
very
normal.
lucky.
She's more normal.
Yeah.
She doesn't wear the Wonder Woman outfit. Out in public, anyway.
So, yeah, Mark's like pretty much one of the coolest guys I go. And whenever I say that I know the executive producer of Call of Duty, like, people freak the fuck out.
Oh, that's a household name in my house.
Thank you.
This beer is 8% content.
Well,
right?
I only got...
8.7.
No, I only brought one of the Goodnight Imperial Red from Oscar Blues Brewery because... Please
Pitch
sponsor
that.
us. Because... Yeah, we'll get wasted really fast. And so I figured we'll punch it in the face with like a really strong beer, and then we'll settle back with Mama's Little Yellow Pills, which is another one of my favorite beers. And that's at 5.3, so that's not bad. Not a bad APB. So I have a question for Mark Rubin. Other than Call of Duty, what other video games do you play?
Well, right now, as we just talked about, Diablo 3
Yes.
just came out. Minus the server issues, the game's actually absolutely awesome. I'm actually a huge Star Wars fan, so I'm playing the Star Wars MMO, Old Republic.
How was that?
I love it.
I played the first Star Wars MMO, Galaxies, and
Yeah.
it was fucking terrible.
It was
and I played
horrible.
it 5 hours a day. It didn't matter.
Still did, yeah.
Because you could go in fucking Jabba's palace and be like, there's fucking Boba Fett. This is amazing. I mean, that was it. I just played it every day and did these fucking stupid things. But this game is good, you say?
This game's good. It's actually all about the story. I don't know if you've played MMOs before. It's all about like grouping up, and then you hit the max level, and then you just start
Gear
grinding
grind,
for loot. This one's not that at all. I actually I took 2 weeks off of work when it came out and power leveled to the max level, and it was me and like 5 other guys sitting around going, well, what the fuck do we do now?
That's interesting.
And what I found was like I quit, and I was like, fuck it, I'm out of this game. There's nothing to do really once you hit the max level. And I realized, you know what? The whole leveling was really fun because it's all story. And it's all really good story. So it's really well written, and everything is voice acted, and voice acted pretty well. Actually, the funny thing is there's the Republic side, the good guys, and the Sith side, the bad guys or whatever. And the Republic side's all Americans, and the cis side's all British people because British people are evil.
That's right.
And but the funny thing is their acting is way better than the public side.
Right.
Americans can't act, but the British, it's just you get any British guy off the street and you put him in front of a microphone, and he can act.
Yeah, that's
just
true. It's
born
the
that
accent.
way. Yeah.
I just remember in Galaxies, the Jedi slot, you couldn't unlock it until you found out whatever your 3 special, unique professions were that nobody knew. And they were selling fucking holocron cubes on eBay for like $600 and shit.
Yeah.
But even if you got the 3 holocron cubes, they would never tell you what the 4th profession slot was. So it was still fucking just a rant. That game burned me so bad, I'll never play another Star Wars game.
Yeah, a friend of mine actually got it randomly. He didn't get any of the hologram cubes, but he just randomly happened to get it. His character, he went through the whole thing. But it was like, literally, I would kept coming back to me, you a Jedi yet? You a Jedi yet? No, I'm still Force sensitive. And he kept having to do these quests. And like for, I think it was a month and a half, 2 months, he'd still doing these quests to become an apprentice. Yeah. And never became a Jedi, as I know, because I think he quit.
This is the nerdiest conversation we have ever had.
You asked us to come here and talk about this. You're wearing a fucking Wonder Woman outfit, by the way.
This is true.
I'm impressed. I'm just like, I'm so out-nerded when it comes to video games. Like, I had you guys on because you guys both know me. You know I can barely play video games.
Hey, you played Fable.
I do play Fable, and I can't wait. I know there's another Fable coming out, and I can't wait. I'm so excited. Though I'm stuck on one of the side quests on Fable 2. I need you to come over and beat it for me. Actually, one of you guys needs to come over and beat it for me, because I need to get back on track and finish that game.
I'll be playing Diablo. So
yeah, I'll be playing Diablo.
So
I'll beat that quest for you.
Did you guys ever play Call of Duty? Or not Call of Duty, City of Heroes.
Yeah.
That was
City of Heroes. I love that game.
I just had a flashback the other day about that game, about how long I played that game. I played that game straight for 2 months, every single day, 12 hours a day maybe, and then it just lost interest. But it's still going on today. I didn't even know that.
And they made a sequel to it.
Yeah.
Called Champions Online.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Not quite the same.
Not the same?
No.
Everyone told... Is that the DC game? Somebody told me the DC game is what? It's like a new version of it, pretty much. No.
I hate the DC game, personally.
I never played that one.
I don't know what they did wrong, but they did a lot wrong.
There's too much to list.
There's too much to list.
Is it easy to criticize other games? Like now that you're working in it. I mean, not easy, but I mean, is it
to look down on everybody else?
Yeah, you're like, we just
your critique of every game is no Call of Duty.
No Call of Duty.
I mean, I just as a fan, you get like the new Battlefield, which was pretty decent, but they went a step in the right direction. I thought, but as it has to kind of be weird that's like that's your competition, but you're a gamer, and
Yeah, I'm a gamer first before I'm a game developer, and most studios are. Publishers, on the other hand, aren't.
Right.
And all the back talk between Call of Duty and Battlefield was all publisher level. It wasn't at the developer level. We look. It's hard being in the industry because you look at games with a critical eye that you wouldn't normally, that I didn't look at before I was in games. And it does make things tough, but I still love games. And all I do when I get home from work is play video games.
Wow. So, and you have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she's probably pretty hot if she's friends with
She's
Ron.
really hot.
She knows I need my decompression time and knows I need my game time. So.
God.
Jesus
Lucky.
Christ.
I'm so good at finding girlfriends or partners for everyone but me. It's like a magical gift.
Yeah.
Not that my dating life hasn't been horrible the last 3 weeks or anything, and I'm not bitter.
You should wear the woman costume more often.
Yeah.
You and Dana Dierman need to get together and just rage because she's in the same boat right now.
You could rape each other.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dana was really mean to me like years and years and years ago, and I still haven't gotten over it because I'm a girl.
That's just her. She's just like a comic.
She's a bitch. Oh. She's such a bitch, and she's so mean, and she wouldn't let me sleep with her boyfriend.
Oh, well, there we go.
That
all right, so we cleared up this conversation.
That is a real bitch.
Anyway, so one of the many things that I want to talk about today is Morrison Con. I just bought my tickets to it.
Is he going?
I'm going. It's September.
Is he going?
Is he going?
Morrison.
Yeah, no, it's September 28th and 30th. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience and curated by Ignition Sequence and Grant Morrison. Hold on, let me pull up my notes. Because there is so much exciting shit. I can't wait. So included in the price of the ticket, there is a 2-night stay at the Hard Rock in Las Vegas. And this is really different than any other con out there because it's an intimate week-long convention. They're the no-line con. Their whole goal is that it's So you can actually like meet and hang out with all your comic book heroes. Gerard Way, Umbrella Academy singer of My Chemical Romance, is going to be there. Jim Lee.
Is that guy a comic book hero? The lead singer of My Chemical Romance?
He wrote Umbrella Academy, which is one of the most amazing independent comic books that's come out in the past 3 years.
Really? Okay.
Jim Lee, who did Justice League, Batman, and Guinness Book of World Records best-selling comic of all time, X-Men #1 in 1991 will be there. Jonathan Hickman, J.H. Williams III, Frank Quietly, Chris Burnham, and of course, Grant Morrison is going to be there. It's going to be like more TED-style talks in your average comic book convention. And it's more of like a taking over the casino for the weekend. Like, it's not going to end at 5. Like, basically, there's going to be the convention, and then everyone's going to go and party and rage. I want to tell people now, because it will sell out. It'll probably sell out in the next month. If you want to go to the super exclusive comic book event, go to morrisoncon.com. I will be there. James Stein from Isotope Comics, who is my comic book guru, will be there, and it'll be magical.
I hope it doesn't catch on.
Yeah, me too, right?
I tried to get tickets this year to Comic-Con, and I even woke up like, I think, noon or something weird like that, and it was just like, oh, the tickets just went on sale. I'll be fine. It was already sold out.
Yeah, I'll
Comic-Con
get a
sucks now.
Yeah, I gave up on Comic-Con.
I did too. Like 3 or 4 years ago, it just got so fucking big. I used to go every year, and then there was a point. I remember the exact moment. I was just like on the main floor because I like to go to the booths and look at all the dumb nerd shit. Yeah. And I was just like sandwiched between 3 of the fattest, stinkiest fucking guys ever, and they were touching me, like each of them just sweating on me. And I was like, "Fuck this! I'm never coming back. It's over. It's done."
Yeah, E3 and Comic-Con both.
Yeah,
E3
died for
too.
Me. I agree. Fuck them.
Yeah.
So MorrisonCon, that's where it's at now?
MorrisonCon, yeah.
I can meet Jim Lee, the guy who made me think I wanted to be a comic book artist when I was a child.
Yes.
That's cool.
And there's going to be a lot more people that aren't even on the roster. These are the people that have confirmed as of last week. This event was just announced probably about 2 weeks ago, and all sorts of people are signing on. There's like 12 people that I can't tell you are going that I really want to tell you are going.
Don't tell me. Jim Lee's enough. I want the image of an X-Men, Uncanny X-Men cover they did. I don't remember the number, but it's Wolverine in like a loincloth. Claws out, smashing the Mandarin's helmet kind of off his face. Mm-hmm. That image will probably be the last thing that goes through my head when I die. It'll probably be the final thing I see.
So you'll be at MorrisonCon September 28th to 30th.
I don't know if I want to ruin the illusion of Jim Lee as a god, though.
I like the idea of it in Vegas also.
Yeah.
Because that shit won't sell out.
And it's at the Hard Rock.
Right.
And it'll be awesome. And I can't wait. I just got back from San Francisco, where I buy all my comic books from Isotope Comics, except for when I'm in dire need, and then I come to Secret Headquarters here in LA. But James Syme is my comic book guru. I am so excited because this is back in print, and I will be reading this next week. I didn't get a chance to because I've been busy, but yeah, they just came out with the Silver Surfer, the version that Stan Lee did with Mobius. This has been out of print for forever, and I can't freaking wait.
I'm a huge fan of Silver Surfer, too, so that'll be good.
Yeah, next episode will be very comic book heavy. Anyway, let's drink some beers.
I have not stopped drinking my beers.
I fucked up on Silver Surfer yesterday. We were talking comic books with Joe Rogan, and I was talking about how I am a Silver Surfer fan, and I was so stoned that I didn't even remember that he was a part of the Fantastic Four. And I'm like, no, he wouldn't be in that gay group. He would be in like the X-Men. For some reason, I was thinking he was in the X-Men, not the...
No.
He wasn't in any of them, actually. He wasn't in the Fantastic Four, because
right.
he would have then been Fantastic
Five? Yeah, right.
But he was in their storyline.
Oh.
So he's not... Yeah, he wasn't technically.
And you have to understand that the Fantastic Four was where like Stan Lee first became really the Stan Lee that we knew today. And like as much as they
don't actually know
the 150-year-old man
that shows up in every Marvel movie.
He was so bored. He
exactly. He was like, "This is the shittiest comic ever. I'm dying."
No, okay, so
this guy's a Hulk ripoff.
I have just seen. You guys are so mean, okay? And I have been drinking the Kool-Aid because I have seen the Stan Lee with Great Power documentary twice in the past month, and it's awesome. And I just saw the Avengers. What?
Yeah, that's cool. I love the fucking Avengers.
Yeah.
Love that movie. I know.
Maybe I'm the lone voice of dissent here. It was good, certainly. Mm-hmm. But I liked Iron Man better. Yeah. I liked Spider-Man better. Yes. I liked X-Men better. Yes. I liked X-Men First Class better.
I did not like X-Men
Did you like Wolverine better?
At all. No,
I hated X-Men First Class.
Wolverine no good.
X-Men First Class.
Oh shit, dude! Fassbender is badass. He's the best Magneto that's ever lived.
Awesome. True.
That's enough
for
the
rest. Yeah.
The rest of it was kind of dumb. The kids, some of it was dumb. I'm not saying there weren't some dumb parts, but I liked it better. Avengers, to me, like the best parts of it were when you got to see the guys back to back fighting together, and finally you get all these Marvel properties in one movie. That's a cool fucking thing.
It felt like a comic book movie, though.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if someone told me before I went to the movie that it was going to be full of like kind of one-liners and a lot of kind of like jokes and stuff, I would have been like, oh fuck, this is gonna suck. But I went in not knowing that, and I loved it.
Yeah, it was actually funny.
Good.
I agree, man. I was watching it like, fuck, this is actually funny. Usually comic book jokes are fucking stupid.
Yeah, those
were actually not bad. That surprised me more than anything in that movie.
Yeah, absolutely. And every character was interesting. They weren't like
one-dimensional.
I agree. I think it was a good movie, just not my favorite of the Marvel
characters.
The only thing that I'm curious about, and I really want to know the answer to this, is why they refer to Thor as a demigod. Now, I've heard some weird internet rumory stuff that it was like...
It's got to be Christians.
There you go. Exactly.
Has to be.
That's what I heard.
Listen, when I was a fucking kid, I had a friend whose name I will not mention because it's probably illegal or something. But we used to watch fucking He-Man, right? Tom. We used to watch fucking He-Man as children. That's the era I grew up in. The fucking subtitle of He-Man was Masters of the Universe. This guy's mom, who was evangelical Christian, would not let him watch it because only God and Jesus are the Masters of the Universe.
Oh my God.
That's exactly why they called him a fucking demigod, because they knew they would get a fucking boycott.
If they called him a god.
If they called him a god. That's what I thought, but I still think that
I hate them so much.
I do too. I do too. We can fucking totally start talking about that if you want.
We're the lions when you need them.
I want to talk to you about, because one of my favorite things about you, Mr. Chad Kultgen.
Yeah.
So you and I share a common passion and interest, except that you've actually made the step to be cryogenically frozen when you die, which is so freaking awesome.
That's correct.
You've signed up for that?
Signed up. This little chain that I'm wearing is my medic alert tag.
Oh, wow.
I'll break it down for you exactly. I don't think there's a god or an afterlife or any of that shit. I actually don't think cryogenic freezing is going to work. Cheers to you. But if you die and you get buried or you get cremated, you have 0.0 infinity chance of ever coming back. I don't want to die. I want to see all the cool shit in the future. I want to know what the universe is like. I want to know about dark energy, dark matter, if we can ever figure these things out. And it certainly won't happen in my normal lifetime. So, for a nominal fee,
how much?
It's like around $100 a month all told, which is your membership to the company that I'm doing it through is called Alcor, which is in Arizona, and it's I guess like the biggest one in the world. I think it's like where Ted Williams' head was getting batted around with a fucking wrench like 2 summers ago or whatever. So very trustworthy people who work there, but it's kind of also the only game in town, so you don't really have much choice. But for that amount of money, that covers your life insurance policy, which will be payable to them upon your death, and it also covers all the whatever your kind of like membership fees are.
Start the membership right before you die.
Yeah, you can do it whenever you want, but good luck getting a fucking life insurance policy when you're 99 years old or whatever, you know. At any rate, so I basically think it's like there's almost no chance that this will ever work. 0.0, almost infinity, 1% chance, but that's a better chance than 0.0 to infinity.
That's why I don't want to get cremated, kind of for the same reason, because at least I'm thinking like maybe in the future they can do the DNA and fucking rebuild me and find my memories.
Who would do that,
and
though,
you can't
without
come back as
your...
a zombie that way either.
That's true. Which is the worst. I don't want to be a zombie. But who would do that? If you haven't expressly said in your lifetime, I want to fucking come back, who's going to find you and do that shit?
I think we would become like entertainment. Like instead of movies, they would be like, all right, let's bury up this whole graveyard this weekend and see who we got, you know?
Maybe. I would like to... I mean, this is another thing. This is another thing that people always say, like, well, what happens when they unthaw you and it's just aliens who want to fuck you in the ass 24 hours a day?
All right.
To me, well, that's what I'm signing up for.
Alien.
That's a rider in my contract. Don't unthaw me unless. No, but to me, it's like if we exist in a society that can reverse cellular death, they're probably not really going to be too interested in using you as entertainment or an experiment or any of that kind of shit, or throw you into a fucking army against aliens or any of that crap. If they can revive a dead body,
or a totally sweet battle pit,
I would actually fight a battle pit as long as I had a robot body. But,
maybe everybody's sterile in the future.
Right.
All the men are sterile, and they're...
Perfect. So they need me to come back to repopulate.
See?
After reading your books,
I'll do it if I have
frightening.
to. What do you mean thoroughly frightening? Come on.
Okay, so dating in LA sucks balls, as I regularly bitch about. And after reading your book, Average American Male, I'm even like extra traumatized about the male species.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Are you?
How do you make a living? You know what the male species fucking does, right? I mean,
I only do girl. Okay, I live in a bubble.
Oh, you do girl on girl. That's right. Guys just like to watch girls kissing and think that they're really best friends who just like to hang out naked. You're not fucking naive.
No,
you know exactly what guys are thinking at all times.
But it's just so before I read Chad's book, like I kind of knew that like guys were like dirty, filthy scumbags, and I should start wearing a bra. And then after reading your book, like I feel like I need to start wearing a burqa.
That's weird to me, because I think chicks are the same way.
I was gonna say
everybody's
they
fucking
are.
filthy. We're animals. We have two purposes on this planet: to fuck and eat, and we only eat so that we can keep fucking. That's it.
I think girls might even be worse.
Some are. Some certainly are.
Guys don't talk about the things that girls talk about.
Right.
That's right.
And they don't go, usually they don't go to that horrible, deep, dirty, evil level
Serious
when there's a
amount of
fight.
detail.
You know what I mean? Where they go, oh, how can I hurt this person as much as possible? So they usually go to the place that they know. Where, I don't know, guys are usually like, shut the fuck up. Where girls are like, oh yeah, well at least I didn't do this and you're not like this and that. And you're like, whoa, I can't believe you just said that. That's rude. You know?
You just got served.
I did just get served.
You're kind of outnumbered here.
So do you guys want to talk about a puking puppet? No, not really. You guys
What?
How'd you get turned on to this? Because you sent this
talking
to
about?
me today, and I was.
I didn't send it to you today. I sent it to you last week because we got advanced copies.
Right, I'm a busy guy, but I played it today.
Wait,
I'm sorry.
what?
Okay.
What?
It's
Can I? Yeah, there's two people here who need to know what the fuck is going on.
Shut up and show me your tits.
Who are you talking to?
So, all of you. So I used to do a lot of work with THQ in the marketing department because on May 22nd, I will be a playable character in Saints Row the Third. There's going to be a Penthouse DLC, which will be awesome. You can totally play me. But my friend Rick Davis, who used to work in that marketing department, I drank with a lot. And he left THQ, his totally cushy marketing job, to go work at Run Wilder and to produce a app that is a vomiting, puking, cheeseburger eating, beer guzzling puppet.
Yeah, here's a trailer for it, which, you know, it's kind of weird because I've never really got into these kind of games before, where it's one of those games where you have like almost like a character that you can fuck with.
A UFO in our atmosphere.
Okay.
It was something different. Something awesome.
Jesus.
It was Osgood. And he invades your iPhone or iPad this spring. A beer guzzling, cheeseburger eating, belligerent barfing bastard from outer space. And before he heads home, he wants to party. But just a warning.
Shit is gonna get weird.
I thought it was
Yeah, it's completely creepy.
Yeah, and totally retarded, and I can't stop playing it.
It's like Charlie Sheen meets Alf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
It's an app. It's free to download. You can go to itunes.com/Osgood, and they have a bunch of viral videos out that just came out.
What's the game part of it?
Yeah.
I haven't
there a
really
purpose?
figured it out. I know that I play it, and I feed him beer, and then
Here's the thing that's fun to
it's
do with it.
adorable, and I love it, and I can't stop playing it.
The fun thing to do is that you can record your voice in it, and it mouths the voice, so it looks like he's talking. So you can go like, you know, I want to fuck your tight pussy, and then have him say it, and then like mail it or text message it to people. So it's kind of fun to just fuck around with text messages. It's free.
You know, that sucks that Mother's Day just happened.
I know.
Well, the thing is that the voice capture thing, because there's not a lot of options right now. That so Osgood is voiced by. So Osgood is voiced. He's got the super cute puppet voice. But when you go and like record your voice saying something as
That's Henson,
Osgood, it's like the creepy like.
Hey, how you doing? Why don't you come over
Yeah.
here?
It's totally
Pedophile.
frightening.
Yeah.
But
It's a fun app. It's one of those apps that it's great to like, you know, just send shit to your friends and stuff. I haven't really gotten into the story mode, which I guess there's a story mode, and it's kind of cool because it's like it's kind of like Dragon's Lair style where
Wait,
they record.
story mode? I'm still hung up on that part of the sentence.
Yeah, it's where they record, like, it's kind of like how where they with Dragon's Lair, where they record different things. So like choose your own adventure style. If you do this, it does that. So it's kind of interesting.
See that's his the precious, like, that's my precious beer drinking. Yeah. If you feed him enough beer, he'll do like Edward 40 hands, and like I like it when I rub him and he makes like groany like you can groom him. He's dirty, and feed him cheeseburgers, and it's okay. So I thought I was gonna hate this game, and I was like, my friend was like, "Can you please promote it like just once? Like, I'll like just tweet about it one time." And I'm like, "I don't tweet about things I don't like, but you can send it to me." And he sent it to me, and I'm actually playing it, and it's retarded. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm always in the back of a taxi cab, and the cab driver hears, I need to turn up the volume on this.
It might be for, it's weird because it's a weird game because it seems like it's for younger people, but yet it's dirtier for adults. And then the reviews on the iTunes, I think it had 5 stars. So I guess, there's more to the story mode that I haven't got to yet.
Well, it's like it's produced pretty well.
Yeah.
And it's an actual puppet. I've seen the actual puppet. He's a 3-foot tall puppet.
That's not a real creature? That's a puppet?
Yeah.
It's not a furry?
Oh my gosh. Speaking of furries, if anyone has looked at my Twitter recently, I was getting off the plane in Long Beach, and there was a full-on penguin in a furry suit, like, getting his baggage from the baggage claim. And I started yelling things about him being a pervert, and it was not appreciated. I'm like, hey, furry, is there a fur con in town? I may have been drunk and belligerent.
Oh, jeez.
Wow. In the middle of the airport?
What the fuck was that?
Oh.
I don't know. Technology.
The Matrix.
Yeah. But anyway, Osgood the Puppet, you can download it and play it because it's awesome.
Do you guys play iPad games, or are you?
I'm fucking addicted to iPad.
I don't have one.
Okay, what are you playing?
Really?
What? You don't have an iPad?
Wow.
You don't have an iPad?
I don't have one. I have a computer, and I have a cellular telephone, and I have a television.
A cellular telephone.
We need to take up a collection to get you an iPad.
I won't ever use it.
Oh,
yeah, you say that.
Are awesome,
and then you
on,
get one.
I guess.
Comic books are awesome.
Comic books are awesome.
And books are awesome. I don't
like books on the iPad.
I'm actually all right with
I'm not a fan. I've used them. I've used friends' iPads. I just don't. I don't know.
I do all my comics on there.
Yeah.
All the Walking Deads I just downloaded recently.
With the new Retina display. Am I selling iPad here?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
The new Retina display.
The Call of Duty app on
it just looks...
What iPad games do you play?
I'm a tower defense guy. I love fucking tower defense.
I play Mythic Defense on my phone every day.
iPad.
Even better.
Why?
It's got the best tower defense games ever.
Games.
Are they really?
And they're just bigger and they're easier to play.
But I mean, those exact same games must exist as either an iPhone or Android app, right?
I don't know.
But there's a difference between playing it on your little iPhone and then playing like Soul Calibur like on your
Is there, though?
your iPhone.
I'm not going to play fucking... If I'm playing Soul Calibur, I'm going to plug in my Dreamcast and go to work. I'm not going to play it on a fucking iPhone.
What am I playing?
But when you're on the plane, or something.
I'm
I just go to sleep on a plane.
I don't care. Battleheart's amazing.
I played Battleheart on my Samsung Galaxy S2, and it was good enough. Like, do I need to play it on a fucking iPad?
This is
better.
This is the game I'm addicted to.
It's better.
How though? How
it's
much
like going
better?
from a small TV.
It's like going from a fleshlight to a vagina.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I've never gone to a vagina, so I don't know what that's like. Sorry, fleshlight only. Jesus fucking Christ!
If I could recommend one game, this is the game. One of my favorite games that was on the Xbox. Burnout Crash.
Yes.
Burnout Crash. It's actually a really good version of the game also, which is it's based on the old Crash game, which if you were the original Burnout was fun because it was all about getting in the best car accidents, which was the most amazing game in the world. And then for some reason they decided to take that element out of it with Burnout Paradise. I think was the last, and so this pretty much is a simple version of that old idea. It's
but I mean,
not
why
the
not
best.
play the actual version of it?
Because some people aren't good at controllers. Okay, don't judge me for my lack of hand-eye coordination.
Honestly, you know what it is? It's nowadays I still have all my Nintendos and Ataris and all that stuff. I just don't feel like hooking them back up.
Can I have your Super Nintendo then? Because mine just broke.
Oh no!
Please.
You can buy one on eBay for like $10 fucking dollars.
I got something better on Amazon. They sell something that does NES, Super Nintendo,
want that.
and
I want the actual
Dreamcast
Super Nintendo. I've got my cartridges. got my fucking games.
No, you use the same cartridges. It plays Nintendo games.
I want
the real thing.
I want the real thing. Yeah.
But the new one has wireless controllers.
I don't care. My wires are really long for my Super Nintendo. I can still lay in my king size bed and play on my giant TV.
Oh, look at you!
Yeah,
name dropping your bed size.
Yeah, not me.
So big.
I play my Super Nintendo old school CRT, 14 inches. Fuck that shit. How it was meant to be played
on a futon.
That's right, in my parents' basement. So the fuck what?
Okay, my Wonder Woman costume is really uncomfortable.
Well, take it off.
You know I can't take it off. You know that I am not allowed to take it off.
No,
you have yelled at me for getting naked on Ustream more than once.
We could zoom in on just your face, and then you could just...
I am a person with thoughts and feelings, Brian Redban. Thoughts and feelings.
All right, let me just remind...
The rest of the video portion of the show is just a shot of your eye. An extreme close-up of your eyeball.
Let me just remind everybody that's been listening to Death Squad for a while, the first time that Ryan came on a show, we had done maybe 100 and some podcasts before her. Never had this happen before, and we've had every girl in before. The second she comes in the first 10 minutes, for some reason she just stands up and takes off her clothes.
I was goaded into it.
And we felt bad. We're like, no, it's not that. You don't have to do this.
You don't have to do this.
I think I was like something along the lines of, so is this the part where I get naked?
Right. You're just so used to it, like being in a radio station.
Holy shit.
When you do Opie and Anthony or Howard Stern, like 10 minutes in, you just take your clothes off.
Right.
That's just what happens.
Right.
I have been conditioned. You put enough you put the cans on my head, you put the mic in front of my face, and I'm like, okay, well, and the clothes are off.
Damn it. We should act like we're doing a podcast, and not really do, and just, never mind.
Posture and dignity, Redban. Posture and dignity. We have 15 more minutes to talk about stuff and shit.
Let me talk then.
What do you want to talk about?
Actually, let's talk video games. Do you want with Call of Duty and everything like that coming out? I'm good friends with Cliffy B. Yeah. Do you ever hang out with any of these guys? Do you ever share stories or tips, or do you ever put anything in your video games that are kind of I guess Easter eggs, but kind of towards other games that you like, or are you against Easter eggs in all the general? Since the adventure drama of 1978.
What?
Well,
we do hang out, although not as much as we'd like. Honestly, the industry in general is pretty rough when it comes to hours and stuff. I usually work about 12 to 14 hours a day on the normal days, and then I've worked 24 hours a day. Sleeping on the couch for 2 hours and getting back up and just keep working.
How has your lady friend changed that, if she has?
She hasn't.
Damn.
Sorry.
It's way more understanding than me.
Well, yeah. So we're pretty dedicated. It is tough, actually. We have guys with families, and it is pretty rough. It's hard to do a work-life balance in the video game industry. We do hang out. I've hung out with Cliffy, for instance. He is evil when it comes to shots. Seriously evil. And we have to wait for the events. We have to wait for GDC. We have to wait for E3. And when those happen, we get to hang out. The Easter egg thing is tough because sometimes it's like you go, hey, we can put this cool Easter egg in, and the legal department goes,
so you have to run everything through legal because of hot chocolate or whatever that's called.
Yeah, everything.
Is there anything that you've ever worked on that you've put something in that no one's ever found, or it's something that you've never told, or that of that you're like, dude, there's this one secret that no one's ever found, that only us couple friends know. It's up, down, down, right, left.
There is.
This is where the $1 million lawsuit begins.
Yeah. There is some cheat codes that are in the game for single player that aren't announced. I'm not going to announce them.
Wow.
Sorry. But no, it's amazing how much shit that people find within the first hour. If you think about it, we have a QA team. So the QA team is supposed to play the game every day. They play for about 10 hours, and they look for bugs and stuff like that, right? And they do that for the entire project, which is about 2 years. Well, 20 people, 10 hours a day, 2 years. Seems like a lot of time. You get the game out with, we have 8 million people play on the first day alone. for average of 2 to 3 hours each. That's more time than we've put in the entire QA time for the entire 2 years of the project. So they find more shit in the first week than our QA team could probably find in the first. Yeah.
There was an old alternate reality game that I now forget the fucking name of, but it was similar. It was a game where you could buy these cards online that would have like brain puzzles on them and shit that were highly advanced mathematical puzzles, whatever. And the people designing the game said, okay, this pack that we're putting out now will buy us at least a month. It was solved in like 2 hours. Everybody around the fucking internet was just like, oh, let me help you, let me do this. And people who are really into the game as fans will ferret that shit out much quicker than anybody who's like working on it or... it's crazy.
Diablo was beaten the first day.
I know.
Insane.
By Koreans, of course.
Of course. Fucking Koreans. I actually love Koreans.
Especially the North ones.
Just when you take over our country, just let it be known that I said that.
I love Koreans. I love your barbecue.
I will be your happy slave.
Is it weird that I want to go to Korea just so I can experience the really big pipes?
Wait, what?
I don't get what you're saying.
Yeah, because the internets are so big over there. Their pipes, they're so big.
True. I thought that was another reference.
No.
We have a geek.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about buttholes.
We have a geek question for Modern Warfare 3. Why no LAN on it?
Why no LAN?
What? This guy seems very mad about it.
Yeah. The internet's real, dude.
Yeah, it is. We get this stuff a lot. It's one of those things. It's hard. We really only have 2 years to make the game, and that may seem like a long time, but when it comes to games, we're basically crunching the entire time. We work weekends. We work. Have you ever thought about
instead of doing the current system of releasing a new game every year or two to release one that you just grow on and build upon and have like a warehouse that's usually locked and then one day it opens up and you're like, holy shit, there's a basement in here? Or is it just that makes no sense?
Well, we kind of do that. I mean, in a way, in a weird way, because what we do is, we make the game 2 years, and then once we are done with the game and it's about to ship, we start working on DLC. And DLC is a weird sort of opportunity for us to kind of be a little bit more creative or a little bit more outside what we would call the norm of map development. We can do a little bit crazier maps, and we're not talking crazy and like, once this one's got spaceships and stuff, but we can experiment more in the DLC than we can in the regular game. So that is an opportunity for us to sort of go outside the norm, and we did that with Modern Warfare 3. We put in things like the infected mode, which is really a weird mode if you think about it from Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a very competitive team against team, or free-for-all if you're doing free-for-all, but still, it's a very competitive game. And then you put something in like infected, and that's like totally like non-competitive, just for fun. It's basically this. I don't know if you haven't played it, but
it's too hard. You keep giving me these games, and they're too freaking hard for me.
Give them to me. I'm one of the few guys that actually plays Call of Duty for the story mode. I'm like the biggest loser in the world. That I like.
Dude,
the
I'm
story
with you.
modes.
Before I even
You
played
also watch porn for the stories?
No.
Yes, I fucking do. I fast forward through the sex. No, but dude, I'm the same way. I have to beat the game before I even play the multiplayer.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to.
That's like my reward.
Yeah.
But I have to be there.
The single player is actually pretty good. I mean, we won BAFTAs for some of our games. But the story. Some people knock on the story because it's a little confusing, and I think sometimes it is. We try to tell story through the gameplay, and that is a challenge when you're a writer. Sure. And I'm actually a huge fan of writers in general. Like writing a novel is like one of my like bucket list kind of things that I know I could never do. Sort of like
anyone
walking on
can
the
do
moon.
it. I did it. I've done it multiple times. I guarantee you can do it.
But telling a story is really hard to do, and telling a story in a video game is actually extremely challenging because of the user doesn't have to, sort of like reading the pages out of order or whatever, And I think we've done a pretty good job. We keep it very concise. We try to keep it sort of simple. We didn't, I think, on some of our previous titles, we went a little too complicated and it kind of got messed up. But I think trying to put the user and the player into experience that they never thought they would actually be in.
Yeah.
So and I think COD 4 actually is the epitome of this. We had a point where you're in a car and you don't know why. You're in the very beginning. You're in this car. You're getting dragged away. You don't know why. All of a sudden, the guy's talking and you're listening to him going, okay, what's going to happen next? Where do I get my gun?
Yeah.
Where do I start shooting things? And then the guy comes over and shoots you in the face.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck?
No, dude, I'll tell you, just as a fan of the games, I mean, obviously the multiplayer has become what Call of Duty is, but as I said, I beat the single player every time before I start the multiplayer, and I'm always surprised at how good it is. Yeah. Every time I'm like, fuck, this is actually entertaining, it's interesting, I'm invested in what's going on, and I mean, obviously the gameplay is good, but that game, it always surprises me how good it is.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of hard work, and we scramble up to the last minute, which is why we don't have LAN. There's only so much we can do,
right?
And we're kind of a small team actually compared to a lot of companies, video game companies. We're about 100 people. We're not the 400 or 600 person team that some companies use when they make games.
Sure, man.
There are so many features that we wish we could have put in every single time we ship a game. It's actually frustrating. We ship a game, we're like, fuck, we really wanted to do this much more. We need 2 more years, I promise. It'll be great. It's one of those things.
Do you know what the future? I mean, I'm sure you know what the future is, kind of what the series is going. Do you ever think? I guess you can't even say this, but do you ever think that
but
maybe?
You'll ask anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, do you ever think it's going to? I mean, because you pretty much ran out of wars. I don't know how many. I guess you could always go to a war and tell a different story, but like the future, like are you going to go like 100 years in the future sometime, or make a Halo Call of Duty style type game, or? I guess you can't even say that. I don't even know why I even asked this question.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, we could. We totally could. And honestly, we found that the time frame isn't the story. Right. It's the people, it's the characters, or it's the events per se. The oh shit, America got invaded. That in itself is something that in a video game is just cool for its own right. Fighting down the streets of New York City, or even fighting in Europe and stuff like that. And for Europeans, we're actually a huge market out overseas. Half our audience is European, half is American. Britain, I think I saw this stat once. It's like 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 households in the UK has Call of Duty.
Jesus, wow, that's fucking cool.
So 25% of the country plays Call of Duty.
Crazy.
It's like having herpes.
Yeah, so it's a weird situation to be in because no game had actually done that before either, too. And so that's really the weird thing.
I was glad that you guys had zombies, and I hope that
that's
they're
the Treyarch team.
Oh,
just to correct
that.
Right.
Right. But do you think that you guys are going to kind of keep that going? Because I think that was pretty popular, or is that something like that's their thing?
So it's their thing. So there's 2 studios. There's Infinity Ward and there's Treyarch.
Right.
And Treyarch does the zombie thing. That was their thing. They created it, and we thought it was really cool, but we didn't want to take that and do our own version of it because that's their thing.
Have you considered ninjas or pirates?
Oh.
Or ninjas and pirates.
Or cats. Oh. Just turn everyone into cats.
Lol cats.
That'd actually be way better than zombies.
Yeah. If there was cats flying around shooting like cheeseburgers at people and stuff like that, that'd be awesome.
The only problem is mocap. Getting the cats in the mocap studio is a little tough.
Oh, that's why you use
dead
ones.
A fat guy in a cat suit. I think that would be, and he's always the same kind of like just non-enthused fat guy. He's like, just shoot me. Fuck. I think that would be good. I would play that game.
I think I would play that game.
See, I'm for that. I'm for the ridiculous. I think most video game fans are for the most ridiculous stuff. Like when you're playing Grand Theft Auto and you do the cheat code where shit's flying around and like the most ridiculous cheat codes ever. I think people welcome that.
I
don't
know,
love
dude.
that.
Like in Grand Theft Auto, because the game itself is fucking ridiculous. But like in Modern
Saints
Warfare,
Row is better.
Yeah, you don't want it.
So
we're plugging that. Saints Row is better.
I mean, all the NPC dialogue in Saints Row 3 certainly is better. No, but what I'm saying is, I actually didn't like the zombies, and not to like blow smoke up your ass or anything.
No.
But when I'm playing Call of Duty, I want it to be like some kind of an approximation of a real military experience.
Right.
And that was the thing that always kind of I mean, I like Halo too, but the thing that I always kind of loved about Call of Duty was like 2 or 3 bullets and you're fucking dead. And if you get shot in the head, you're fucking dead. There's no power shields. You can't take 100 fucking shots. It's it's the real experience. It was like Ghost Recon. I remember playing that on PC.
I played the hell out of that.
When you fucking just left click that mouse twice, that fucker is dead. Mm-hmm. That's fucking cool. I always like that about it. So like zombies kind of, to me, was divergent from what that game actually is, like the kind of spirit really of Call of Duty.
It's a weird thing I found that in gamer mentality on the internet, because that's different from gamer mentality in real life, is they want every game to be everything they ever dreamed of.
Right.
And of course.
Of course.
I don't think we should be that game.
This game isn't sucking my dick. When is that happening? Better happen in the sequel.
Dick sucking and pizza delivery at the same time.
Yeah.
And Mom, where's my Mountain Dew?
But it's true. I mean, they want the game. It's sort of like if you're a basketball fan. Let's say you're a basketball fan, right? You don't want every year for them to change the rules dramatically. Right. You want the rules to remain the same every year for basketball. And it's the same thing when we do a game and we do like a shooter again and the same, in the same genre or the same vein and the same sort of pillars. We're doing it because that's the game we make. And then we get a lot of feedback of, well, why don't you do something new and innovative and different? It's like, well, yeah, okay, we could, but that'd be changing the rules of basketball.
It's not the fucking same
game.
It's
not the same game.
Yeah.
And more people want consistency than people that bitch about like wanting something new and innovative. It's just people keep going back to the same things. They keep buying the new Call of Duties because they want the Call of Duty experience.
Correct. But we're very pro, and this is actually important because one of the things that we've found is by becoming so popular, a lot of games out there are trying to copy our style.
Totally.
And
Battlefield.
Right. Well, Battlefield to an extent. Battlefield actually at least kept with their vehicles and big maps. Love them for that, and that's what I want them to stay with. But some of other titles have done the let's try to make a Call of Duty clone. And to me, that's the bad thing. Yeah. Let us make Call of Duty because that's our game. That's what we're going to make. I want other companies, because I'm a gamer, I want other companies to make the game that they want to make. Right. And make the game that they make. And that's where innovation comes from in gaming, is not one company making all the innovations. It's a whole bunch of companies being successful at making their game. And each of those games is different and brings something else to the table. And that's really what I try to promote when I talk to people about it.
No matter what anyone makes, whether it's, for me, like my touchstone is always the old industry or video games or a movie or anything, or cardboard boxes. If you make what you're passionate about, that product is going to be so much better than if you make something based on what you think the market wants.
I don't know. If somebody pays you a fuckking of money to do something, you can do some good shit. Money's a pretty good fucking motivator too. Passion's great and all that shit, but
one interesting about our game too is we try to be what we call authentic, and it's not real. It's a total fantasy game. The story is not even in our world. It's in a different world. 9/11 didn't happen. None of that shit happened. It's a totally fantasy story. But we talk to the real guys. We talk to some of the real people that do this stuff. Their stories are so outrageous. We couldn't put it in a video game because people would laugh at it because it was so video game like. I got a chance to talk to one of the SEAL Team 6 guys that was for the Bin Laden thing, and the shit that he talks about is just like, fuck, I can't even use this in the game because it's too unbelievable.
What was he cool, like? Dude. Obama was already dead. It was weird. They made us act all this weird.
Yeah, he
took off his mask. Yeah. He was Bin Laden.
He was Obama.
You didn't get me.
Well, Mark gets to do a lot of cool stuff that, based on working with Call of Duty, you get to interview a lot of people that most people would not have access to, and you get all these interviews that sadly you can't really talk about.
No, can't talk about what he did. But we did go ride tanks though.
You get to play with really big guns. Like the reason, awesome. Mark's fucking awesome, but also Mark gets to play with such big guns, and I'm so jealous. I have a boner for what you do.
Big pussy boner.
We got to go out to 29 Palms and the Marine base, and they helped us out a lot. Actually, all those guys over at 29 Palms are great. And but they took us out on their tank range, and first off, we got to ride around, just driving around the terrain in this freaking tank, just sitting up in the up on the top, just like, this is awesome. But it's amazingly smooth ride. Actually, the tanks just kind of they just kind of float. You feel like you're floating because they just kind of they go over terrain. Like we got to the place in a Humvee, and the Humvee is a freaking beast of an off-road vehicle, right? And we're going down the dirt road, and it's like like crazy bumpy. We started going off-road in the tank, and like across the dirt road that has these big divots, and you just kind of like float.
Wow.
It's
I never
really
would have thought
weird.
that.
Yeah, it's because of all the wheels, I guess. It just kind of, and how heavy it is. It just kind of you just sort of bounce up and down slightly, but it's a real like.
So did
light
that change
ride.
anything in actually designing the game? Where you because
No, it was just
before it was like
fucking fun.
no, you
Yes.
have to make a guy. No one would believe it.
But I
love
was
it.
there holding the microphone when we were recording them shooting the main gun off, and so I'm like 20 feet away, like holding the microphone like this, and they fire it off, and every single fucking time I'm like, fuck! And I'm holding the microphone, so it ruins the thing. And they're like, all right, do it again. I'm like, sorry. Fuck! You know? And the thing is the concussion from it just firing off, it moves your innards.
Oh yeah, I'm
So
sure.
it's just like all your clothes you can feel move. There's no wind. It just moves. The sound shockwave just moves.
You find
everything
sperm
about
in
you.
your armpits
Jesus
later.
Oh man, it is it is brutal.
My grandfather was a POW in World War II for like I think 8 months or something like that,
shit.
and like my whole family thought he was dead and everything. He was just tortured and shit. And he finally came back, and and he lived a good life. He was president of Ford Tractor and stuff. But after he retired, Call of Duty 3 came out right before he died, and I had this really awesome 5.1 surround system and huge TV, and I'm like, Grandpa, you should watch this video game. It's all about World War II. And it was probably a bad idea. Because back then, I think this was the first video game he even saw. And, and I remember him just looking over at him, and I was like, oh, shit. It's not a good
Didn't
idea.
think that one through.
That night
No,
he killed
but
your grandmother in her sleep.
I turned it off, and I was like, what did you think about it? He was like, that was really cool. That was really interesting. But it was probably a bad idea. He quickly died after.
He died one day later. Exactly.
He's like, I've seen enough. That's funny.
Yeah, my grandfather was a POW too, but
Was he?
yeah. Purple Order of the Purple Heart. He my family doesn't talk about it, and I've always been deemed too young to know the details, which is hilarious because I'm now in my mid to late 20s. And but yeah, he's Purple Heart, and he just always did watercolors. That was his thing.
Was he shot down? Was he a beat?
Yeah, he was shot down. He was parachuting somewhere, and they won't really tell us where. He was parachuting somewhere, and he was shot down. He had a broken leg, which wasn't set for about 6 weeks until the people from Geneva came through and were investigating the POW camp. And we're like, hey, you kind of need to give this guy health care.
I wonder what if our grandfathers were best friends and they shared moms and were actually
Are we siblings?
siblings.
It's hot.
I think probably.
You wouldn't be. What would you be? You'd be nothing. Never mind.
Never.
You'd be nothing still.
Moving on from incest fantasies. Now all I want to talk about is anime.
You were talking about this comic book convention. They should put this together because I know this year that they took away the AVNs with the CES. They put it on different dates. They should put the comic book convention with the AVNs, and Spider-Man could get represented by Spiegler, and he could win some awards.
It's such a problem with because so many comic books are so family friendly. For as many really out there edgy comics,
forgot.
it's the
Forgot
majority
kids.
of comic book business is focused on the kids.
They know the internet.
Is that true? Is that actually still true?
Yeah, I have
Kids
coming
still
up
read
in either
comics?
our next podcast or the podcast after that. I'm going to have some people from POW Entertainment come on.
Oh,
Yes,
POW?
yes,
Oh.
as in Purveyors of Wonder.
okay.
As in Stanley. Anyway, so they're going to be coming on, and they keep wanting to work with me because my girlfriend over there, she's been working for the president of POW Entertainment for 8 years. We want to use you for something because you're nerdy and you can host, but your vagina's on the internet.
That's when you change your name. All you have to do is change your name and dye your hair and become a new person. It's easy to do.
Oh yeah, that social security number. It's just
Chaz
it's no
bonus,
problem.
Well, I mean, your real name's not Ryan Keely, is it?
No.
Well, there you go. You go back to Tabitha Frankfurt. I don't even know your real name.
Tabitha Frankfurt.
It's so weird.
That's it. You got it. First guess.
Tabitha
Yep.
Frankfurt, yes. That is my secret identity. Actually, so I am taking like a TV hosting class because it is my dream to be a TV host, and they made me write my own obituary, which was the creepiest.
Wait a sec. Just real quick. Where are you taking this class?
It's Marky Costello's class.
I don't know any names or anything, but I want to take this class. I want to be a TV host.
You should come to class. It's fucking awesome.
Podcasting's the best way to start.
Yeah, so they made me write my own obituary, and I forgot the point. God damn it, I've been drinking. What were we talking about?
I don't know.
You're going to be a TV host for some comic book company or something?
Do you guys have wills?
No.
I don't.
Isn't that fucked up? Because if you don't have a will, all your shit, like, I think...
Does it go to charity?
It goes like doesn't?
It goes to your immediate family.
Oh.
Unless they're out of state or some shit. Somehow the state... My dad's all into this shit, and he's like, you got to write a fucking will.
Yeah.
Because they don't, obviously, I think the state can take all your shit if you don't have something, or if your parents aren't, or your wife or your children aren't on your bank accounts also.
Right.
If it's just your name on that shit, I think the state gets it all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because and like you said, if your family's out of town, like I'm from Ohio, no one is here. So if I die, all my fucking shit goes to the state. All my computer crap with all my images of girls licking dogs' buttholes and stuff is going to the state.
Awkward silence.
So
no, have you ever thought about that though? Like, if you did die, like if I mean, I don't know if you guys are as creepy as me, but like if like some of your family members find the shit that you were like looking at, and because I do so much photoshops for forums and message boards of people with like dicks in their mouths and stuff, it looks like if you find my computer, it looks like that I have this black guy fetish.
That's what I don't. It's all the photoshops for message boards. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I mean, my browser history is all trannies sucking each other's dicks.com, but
just for Photoshop.
It's just for forums. I don't really like that shit. For forums.
So next to my bed, there is a giant dresser that's like 3 feet long and like 4 drawers high. It is all full of like fetish gear, lingerie, and dildos. And the one thing that like, if I die, if I'm like I don't outlive my parents, like I live in fear of like my family having to like handle my used dildos.
Wow,
let me ask you one thing though. Do you live in fear of your family getting an internet connection? Because that seems way worse than the fucking dildos they may find.
Well, the thing is, they're Catholic, so they're like very much in denial. Like, they believed that I was a photo assistant for like full on 3 years, which was amazing.
But you know they can and have Googled you. Yeah, you know that.
They know that they sit home and sliver to you every night.
Absolutely.
Well, speaking on the subject of death, I just wanted to add in that I always wanted to be buried at sea. It's the only way you can give back.
You and Bin Laden.
Yeah.
Sweet dreams at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, right.
No cryo? You're not going to do the cryo thing?
I keep thinking, I'm back and forth.
There's no reason not to, let me tell you that.
Except for the $100 a month.
Yeah, $100 a month. Whatever. You can afford that shit.
It seems like it would be cheaper just to get a lot of pewter, and then when you die, just like get fucking buried in pewter. And then like
that's kind of cool, actually.
You know what I mean? Like
I used to
like
when I was when I was a fucking tiny kid, I used to play like D&D with little pewter miniatures, and I would fucking paint those motherfuckers.
Yeah,
I would totally become a pewter figure that someone could use in their D&D game.
Right,
I'm doing that. Fuck this cryo freezing shit. Yeah, just melt my body in pewter.
Yeah, like Han Solo.
I think it's because we're old. And that's
if we got together a D&D game, would you play?
Me?
Yeah.
I'll do it.
I'll be the dungeon master.
Maybe.
Would you be the dungeon master? Can we do a D&D podcast?
We could. There's one that's, Pat and Oswald and a bunch of those guys, they get together every week and play D&D. And I had talked to one of the guys, I can't remember which one it was that does this. And I was like, hey, we should do a podcast while you guys play it. And they all seemed kind of, or one guy seemed kind of interested, but I never heard anything about it. I think it's a good idea, but I don't know if it's
I'm not sure what to listen to.
I think it'd be boring as fuck.
Yeah.
No one would listen to that shit. It would be so fucking boring.
Because you spend most of your time like trying to read the rules. And
yeah.
Like, okay,
and like do math and shit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you rolled a fucking D8. You got a 12-sided die. That means you're magic.
I have a dice fetish. It works
there's
for
the...
and somebody fucking does.
Right, there's
somewhere there's a
Rule
fucking
34.
webpage all with like chicks jamming 8-sided die up their asshole.
Oh, so actually one of the first shoots that I did as an adult model.
Speaking of,
was I did a shoot where I was covered completely, and it had to be about like $2,000 worth of like D&D dye, and I had like I had a giant 20-sided die like in my mouth like a ball gag.
Wait a minute, $2,000? Is that what you said?
$2,000 worth of D&D dice.
Those dice are like 10 cents a piece.
That's a lot of dice.
Yeah,
you would be coated in like 3 feet thick layer of that shit.
It was pretty. The thing is, so I shot this. Like this is like one of my first like nude modeling shoots ever. And the pictures have never surfaced. So somewhere out there's pictures of me covered in nothing.
Internet, you need to find that.
Do you have those pictures?
No, I don't have them.
They never gave them to you?
No, I got paid by the photographer. It was like through Model Mayhem. They paid me like, I don't know, like $300 or whatever. And I came out and I like, it was like literally like probably my third modeling gig ever. And I never saw the pictures, and they kind of like disappeared off of Model Mayhem, and yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting. They're like, we spent our life savings buying all these dice. We have $300 left to pay you for this fucking thing. We're going to glue them to your nipples now. And you were like, this is awesome.
What do you think the future of video games is? Because this is the first time where it feels like there's been a long period of time where there hasn't been a breakthrough in graphics and technology that at least has been apparent on computers. You know, before it used to be like you were playing the PlayStation, you're like, holy shit, you know, the computers are way past this PlayStation. There's a PlayStation 2 coming. You know, like, where now it's like even if you look at the best Xbox 360 game and you look at some of the, you know, computer games, it's not a huge difference. Yeah. So, I mean, are we looking at the Xbox 720 in like 5 more years, or do you think they're going to try to do the 3D thing? Or you probably already have the Xbox 720.
After whatever you say, I want to ask you a specific question about something specifically related to what is just asked, but go ahead.
Okay. It is actually tough. You know, we do know what's coming up on the next gen. You know, we know when it's coming, and
that's all you're allowed to say.
That's probably more than I'm allowed to say. To tell you the truth, it is the hard part is technology isn't growing as fast as people want it to.
Right.
You know, so people want. You know, it's weird. It's like
Thank you.
The desire for something new and new and new gets faster and faster and faster. But a lot of what... sorry, got distracted by the TV. A lot of what of what's happening or what's going to be coming in the future isn't going to be able to keep up with the demand, that kind of demand. And there's so many areas. There's multiple areas of this. It's not just graphics. You know, the graphics is the easy thing to point to. But one of the problems is the internet.
Yeah.
You know, people want all this more and more and more stuff in their game from an online standpoint, now that online has really kind of burst out of nowhere and become the thing. But there are ISPs and stuff that are starting to have to restrict people's download speeds because they can't handle the load.
Right.
And sorry.
But that'll change, right?
No, it's getting worse.
It's not changing fast enough.
But it ultimately has to. I mean, if we're talking about Moore's Law,
yeah,
the computing has to get there. That's just a hiccup of the current
computing
state.
slowing down.
Slowing down.
I'll drink another one.
Well, data transfer over the internet is because more and more people are using it at a higher rate.
Improvements have slowed down.
Yeah,
too.
We've hit kind of a glass ceiling almost.
But only in graphics. This is the shit that I'm talking about. Augmented reality, to me, is the future of video games.
So
That's
who
it.
here has read Snow Crash?
Oh, of course.
Everyone.
Gargoyles.
But
yes.
I mean, the next Call of Duty is going to be a fucking pair of sunglasses you buy that has a heads-up display in your fucking glasses, and it turns all of us into either military guys or fucking Covenant or whatever the game may be.
Yeah.
And instead of like playing it with a controller in my house, I'm going like this to you and
hate it.
killing you.
I hate motion. I like the controller.
Why do I want to stand up and play
it won't be motion though, dude. You'll walk out of this fucking building and there will be a map over the world that turns it into fucking World of Warcraft.
That would
or
be
whatever.
sweet, but already I'm so sick of fucking getting off the couch because when I get off work, I just want to fucking lay back and cry and play a video game. You know, and this whole
I like that crying is part of it.
this whole fucking shit of get off the couch and we want to fucking dance around in the front of the TV and have like
that,
humongous living room for some reason that no one has.
You won't have to do that if you don't want to.
Yeah.
If you want to just play it, you can put on your fucking eyeglasses at your home and just fucking sit there like Terry Schiavo and fucking play.
Gamer? Did you see the movie Gamer?
Yeah.
It's funny, kind of a stupid movie. But the part that they show where they show the world you can go into where
Yeah.
you control people
Yes.
through this interface. It's so weird because it's like Home. If you've ever tried PlayStation Home,
I did,
Right.
dude.
yeah, it's like the same thing, but sorry, this clothes just went
I
flying.
know there's flying clothes. It's really hard
Okay,
to
you
talk
try
about video
wearing
games when
a
there's-
sequin corset for like an hour. Like, this is one of my stripper costumes.
You
so
made the
normally
choice.
I made it for like maximum 15 minutes.
Right.
It's all so. Yes, this one costume is also breakaway. Continue.
There's speaking of home, the people are watching us in Home right now in a
is
movie
true.
theater, which is kind of
Wait,
cool.
really?
There's a movie theater in the new version of Home where
Yeah.
you can go
Yeah.
to and watch this podcast live right now.
What's home? I'm
Home
totally
is
lost.
it's hard to
Come
explain.
on.
It's Sims.
Shut up! Don't judge me.
It's The Sims, but it's a part of the PS3.
It's like Xbox Live, but it's on PlayStation, and
And it's like a virtual world.
yeah.
like The Sims.
You make a little avatar. You can walk
Oh,
around.
that's
You have an actual house that you go into and can watch
Yep.
shit on TV or
Invite
whatever.
friends over.
Yeah,
I think it's a
like
good
that.
idea, and I think it's on the right path to being really cool.
I think it's a bad idea.
Yeah. You know what's funny
for
is
kids, I
the
think it's
first
good.
time I went into that, I went to the character creator and I did something in the character creator, and I got into game. And the thing is, everybody is like hot looking.
Right.
Like all the avatars are like cool dudes and cool chicks and hot chicks in skimpy outfits. I made this huge, fat, nasty looking, ugly as ugly as you could make my avatar. I was like, this is what I want to do when I get into a character creator is make the just
Yeah.
most
I did the exact
ridiculous
same
zebra skin, pink shoes.
I do the same thing.
I make
you
the
know.
most racist, but yeah.
But I came out and I'm like this really ridiculous looking character, and everybody else in the world is perfect looking, and I'm
Yeah.
standing around going, okay, I feel a little awkward.
See, I hang out with you guys, like in
Yeah,
those
yeah.
kind of roads. That's. But no, I mean, I like the idea of it to the point of it would be cool to have some kind of virtual world that was kind of cooler, I guess, where you
Yeah.
could like have your own apartment. And,
Second
like,
Life.
Yeah, Second Life.
Second
That shit
Life.
already exists.
Yeah.
in spades. Like Home can't compare to fucking Second Life.
Well,
Yeah, that's
imagine
true.
having that with your Xbox Live friends, where kind of PS3, I like the direction at least they're going.
See, for me, I do
just
all
don't
of
know.
my
The
like, gaming
accessibility.
and fucking around on the internet when I'm stuck on set. So for me, it's all about like what I can do on my iPad, what I can do on my computer. Because I'm
Mobile
so
gaming's huge.
rarely at home that like I get to play. If I get to play any console game, it's like 2 hours a month, which is sad.
Yeah.
More people have played Angry Birds than Call of Duty.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't make as much money, but
Right. Speaking of that, have you?
They don't make as much money.
Here's another question you probably can't answer.
Okay.
Have you been contacted by Apple for a video game system yet?
What?
wow. Okay.
There were some rumors that Apple, with their whole new TV that they're about to release that has,
Yeah.
like the internet built into the TV and all
Right,
that shit,
right.
that they were even thinking about getting into the gaming system, which I think they
Aren't
should
there
do.
already TVs with internet in them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would Apple want
All
to,
of them,
like,
basically.
Because
Yeah.
they want Apple TV in them.
But I mean, all
there
this
already
shit
is Apple
really,
TV.
You know that shit will fucking sell like hotcakes. Instead of buying a Samsung TV or whatever, if Apple made a shit awesome looking TV that you could just sit there with Siri and go to NBC, because that's the hardest thing that I have with controller. It's like somebody's like, dude, you got to turn it on HBO 4. You got to see the shit. And I'm like, I don't even know what channel that is. I have like 3,000 channels. But imagine pushing a button and going, go to HBO 4. Yes. Have it go right. I see where Apple's going, and I think they're going to make they're going to fucking break through, and now next thing you know, they're going to be the next video game publisher.
All I know is
Could
that
be.
I
haven't heard
own-
that question though.
You haven't?
Yeah.
But
I hate my new iPhone. I want my BlackBerry.
I don't even have cable. I actually use a Roku box.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Interesting. Let me ask you guys this.
But-
Technologically,
yeah.
I feel like we're living in this time where we have all these interim technologies. Like we have a cell phone, an iPad, a computer, a TV. The TV has the internet. You have Roku. You have an fucking Apple TV. All this shit eventually has to become one thing, right?
I don't know.
It has to.
It does. I totally agree with Chad on this one. There needs to be that.
It's a chip in your fucking head.
The
Are
problem,
you
there's a
using
couple
the
of things.
singularity?
I mean, it really is. What?
The singularity.
Will happen. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
going to be 2045 like Kurzweil says, but
Well, I
it
think
has to happen.
That term should be reapplied to when all of our I have my iPhone, I have my iPad, I have my literally within 3 feet of me. I have 3 different Apple products right now. When will it all become one?
But that's
The government-
That's way before the singularity. The singularity is when computers can outthink us.
misappropriating the word to something different. I'm reusing it.
Oh.
My earrings
Okay.
bothering me.
My apologies.
But I know the government's asked for research on contact lens computing. So
We can all be
Love it.
gargoyles.
yeah,
There it is.
Cannot fucking wait for that.
I know.
shit.
I can't either. But
I'll put the chip in my head literally the day it's available.
Oh, I won't.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Yeah,
Sign me
I'll
up.
be an
Experiment
early
on me.
adopter, yeah.
Don't
chat
give a
night,
shit.
we can hang out.
I let Foxconn test it out.
You're going to
first.
lose, 6th through 8th grade, but we're going to put this chip in your head.
Perfect.
Sixth
Go
through
for
eighth
it.
grade.
Perfect. As long as
Yeah.
that means that I have access to all of the world's database of knowledge,
Yep.
and I can do complex mathematical computations, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, speak every language. 6th through 8th grade wasn't that great anyway. Fuck
That'd be
it.
all right if we could just bounce a little ball across.
Yeah. Well, dude, that shit already happens. We
Yeah.
already have computers where you can plug them directly into your brain, control a fucking
Yeah.
computer mouse, control exoskeletons, shit like that.
The blind thing. Have you seen that?
Oh my
Yeah.
god. That was a cover of Wired like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yep.
Incredible.
Absolutely amazing.
Fucking incredible. For anyone who's listening to this that doesn't know what we're talking about, there was a guy who was blind. They made a pair of glasses that had cameras on the outside of the lenses, and then wires from that went into a backpack that contained a computer. Wires from that computer went into his fucking brain, through his skull, and guess what? Dude can see now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote a script a long
Cyborg.
time ago about that where we'll have replacement eyeballs, where we'll have like
sure.
night vision, zoom, and all that.
Yep.
Nowadays, that's just like common knowledge. Everyone thinks that we're going to have that, But back in the
I'm
day,
totally
it was...
down
No,
for
dude,
that.
that's not common knowledge. You fucking kidding me?
Well, I think most
No,
people
dude.
probably think, oh,
Midwest?
that's
Absolutely not. Let's get onto this shit. Not-
Most people think that
Sweet Jesus Christ gave us everything, and fags should not be married. That is, this country is, it's got some problems.
All right, so we need to start to wrap this up.
Can I wrap it up with a political prediction based on what we were just talking about?
Okay.
Yes.
Barack Obama wins the general election, but loses the presidency because of the Electoral College.
Oh, I think that's... I might agree with you on that one.
I think it's going to happen. See you guys in hell.
But also in conclusion, I've been having multiple questions on the internet. What comic books are you reading right now?
I'm actually reading one. So I read comics for different reasons. Sometimes I read them because the story's awesome, and sometimes I read them because I love the art. Mm-hmm. That's the great thing I think about comic books is they're two different medias, squished together. But right now I'm actually reading one called Carbon Gray. Mm-hmm. It's a short. I'm hoping they write more. If the writers out there listening, please write some more because it's a short comic strip right now, or comic book. But it's beautiful art. And it takes place in this kind of, it's World War II, but it's like a weird steampunk, high-tech kind of World War II, where I think Germany wins. It's hard to even tell what the story is, but it's really cool. Great story, beautiful art, called Carbon Gray. That's what I'm reading right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm not reading any comics right now, but I'm writing one that's hard sci-fi about the end of our universe. And it's kind of like if Star Trek was about us discovering faster than light travel and saying, let's go explore the universe. This takes place hundreds of millions of years after that. We've explored everything, and we know that it's just us and two other sentient alien races. And we all have kind of like a beef with each other, but we have to come together to try and stop our universe from decaying and obviously all of us dying, and that doesn't go well. So it's kind of like a fight for the scraps of our universe.
Sounds so fun.
As
awesome.
it's being destroyed by itself.
The cool thing about that, I think, for me, is one of the things I've always noticed in everything that does future, it's like, 50 years from now or 100 years from now, and you're like, okay, well, honestly, people think that there's going to be floating everything in 100 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And teleporters.
That's right.
And I'm like, it's going to take a little bit more than 100 years.
That's
Sorry.
right. That's correct.
So 100 million years makes more sense.
Yeah, this is about as far as I can go. But the thing that
Yeah.
sucks about it is if you actually think about what technology will be like then, if humanity exists to then, if there are other sentient races out there in the universe, at that time, we would have technology that was beyond anything we could comprehend.
Mm-hmm.
But
Or not,
because
possibly. Because
No,
we could...
please.
I don't know. We could yo-yo.
No fucking way, dude.
Yeah, it's
To
fine.
think about this shit. Try to explain the internet, which is the most common thing that we all use, to somebody who lived even 100 years ago.
In Arkansas.
Anywhere on planet Earth. There wasn't a fucking TV 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, try and explain the
even
internet.
50 years
Yeah,
ago.
Yeah, it's
No, it's true.
like, you can't
I
do
guess
it.
it's true, but everybody thinks that technology just goes up, and that it
I would agree
doesn't
with that.
have a chance to possibly stale become stale.
Well, yeah. I mean, certainly it does.
I guess
if
it does
we
go
fucking
down.
kill ourselves, if we end up
Or if we
nuclear
get
annihilation
sucked
style.
into our machines and
Or
just order Domino's with the pizza tracker
gonna
to
be
play video
nuclear.
games all day.
You're talking
or-
about Utopia.
Or Idiocracy. Have you seen Idiocracy?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love
Okay.
that movie.
Yes.
That's great.
That is our future.
It's quickly happening. The first 5 minutes of that movie are
It's
very quickly
scary.
happening
Yes.
in this fucking
Yes.
country.
Isn't it
Yes,
amazing
it
how
is.
popular that movie? Every single person
That
that's seen
sucks
that
so
movie
bad.
loved that movie, but yet that movie like fucking bombed.
It's
you
so
know?
horrible.
That was
such
the
a
studio.
horrible movie.
The studio railroaded it.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
was
It's a
it,
horrible
sadly.
movie, but it's great.
it's a great horrible movie. Though.
So, Red Band, what comic books are you reading?
I'm still only doing Adventure Time, and actually, no, I take that back. I'm doing Walking Dead right now. I'm finally getting through.
Finally? Jesus Christ.
I know. I'm so that in
The
Game of
80s just
Thorns.
called.
I'm tired of people saying like, "Oh, Game of Thorns is the best. It's the best," and I haven't.
You mean Game of Thrones?
Yeah, Thrones, West of Thorns.
Oh, I actually love Game of Thrones. That is
Game
my
of Thorns
favorite
is
book
great.
and comic book.
That was
That's
the
the
porn
porn
of it,
yeah.
right?
No, but
shit.
but yeah, I'm just trying to catch up right now. I have no time for doing anything, as you probably know.
Yeah.
I have a question, actually. Hunger Games, worth watching?
I want to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
I
seen
saw the movie. I actually read the book and saw the movie in the exact same day. And
Was that a bad movie to give my mom for Mother's Day book? Because I gave them. I sent that to my
it
mom's
was
Kindle.
fine. My mom
right?
likes that kind of shit. So
I'm afraid of it because I accidentally read Twilight. And
Why would you?
What do you mean?
No,
How do you
okay,
accidentally read a
okay.
book? How does that happen?
I'm with Mark
Like, there was so
Rubin on
much
this
cum in my
one.
mouth, and
I accidentally read Twilight too. No, the thing is that all your friends reading it, and you're like, this shit is fucking stupid, and so you're like, fine, I'll just read the first book, and just because like, fuck you guys, this is gonna be really, really stupid, and so you read the first book, and you're like, wow, this is really, really stupid, and I'm reading the second book. And the third book.
No, I didn't do that. I learned my lesson on the first one.
Yeah.
Well, so accidentally was basically, this is where I think, I know, so bad. Technology fucking fucked me over. And what it was is I'm on my...
It was like shocking. Your iPad was shocking you unless you kept reading, or what? I mean,
I was in my Kindle. I was in my Kindle, actually. This is not my iPad, but I was on my Kindle. And I finished a book, and I was like, oh, I still want to read. So I'm looking on the list of like top whatever sellers ones. And like Twilight, and I'm like, what the fuck is this about? And it was like something vampires. I was like, okay, vampires used to be cool. I wonder what this is about. Started reading it, and it's sort of getting into it, going, is there a point here? Is it really all about tween
Is my
romance the
vagina
whole
leaking?
time?
why is my dick getting so hard?
Oh my god, it was so disappointing.
oh, shit.
Sorry, yeah. So that was
So
my,
which movie
So
did you
now I'm
like
like
the best?
afraid of. Yeah. I have not seen the movies, thank God.
I actually saw the first two just because I had
Did
girlfriends at the time, and the first
Yeah, I
one
did the
wasn't
same thing
too
with the first
bad.
one,
the
actually.
second one was really dumb, and then I was like,
The first
Yeah.
one was the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
It was
I would say
the
that.
first
I don't know about the
movie
worst.
is the only thing that gives me an
worse
erection.
than Leprechaun in Space. I will go on record to say that Leprechaun in Space
That's a
is
great movie,
better
first of
than
all.
Twilight
It's a good
1.
Leprechaun in Space, Troll 2, and The Room are actually
yeah.
good movies because they entertain. You see, Twilight
Yeah.
does not do these things.
This is true.
Twilight just angers and rages or bores. Those are the only things it does.
So that's my
have to
fear,
wrap this
basically, with
podcast.
Hunger
I'm so
Games. It's going to be Running Man meets Twilight, and I'm afraid of it.
Running Man.
Okay, so the book, there's like a fair amount of gore, but they don't have it in the movie. The movie was really poorly. Jennifer Lawrence is a good actress. Everyone else is
That's
terrible.
what I hear.
If you didn't read the book, do you think you would like the movie?
I don't know, because I read the book and then I saw the movie.
I had someone who said they read the book and didn't like the movie, and someone else who didn't read the book and liked the movie.
The only movie that I've ever liked more than the book was Fight Club.
I never read the book.
I never
Never
read the
read
book.
Saw the movie though. Did like the movie.
The movie
Yeah.
was great.
Do you
Enjoy it.
think when somebody reads a book and then sees the movie that the majority of the time they're going to say the book is better, just the
Yes.
same way as when somebody
Yeah.
buys like a BlackBerry and they're like, "It's the best cell phone ever," whatever, just because they invest.
Well, the thing is,
money
that
in
with
it.
the-
No, it becomes that thing of like,
Right.
I read the fucking original.
Yeah.
I was in on this shit before it was a movie, and I can tell you what's good.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Well, no, because when you read the book, the thing is that you are able to imagine those characters in your brain exactly how you imagine them. And what our brain imagines is perfect is never going to be able to be accomplished by a human being in actual real life.
I don't think you've seen Brad Pitt in a film then. He is fucking
Dude,
perfect.
did you know, I heard this on a podcast, I forget who said it, it was like the other day, where they went to go see Mike Tyson's like live show.
Yeah.
And did you hear...
He has a live show?
Yeah, he has like a live show where he just like tells like a story, I guess.
Why are we
on
not
stage.
going to see that?
But he said that, remember when like Robin and him got in that big fight and he got arrested and stuff? It was because she was fucking Brad Pitt. And while they were married. And
Wait,
he just
what?
called... Yeah.
Now, does this... How can that even make sense?
I don't know.
When he was married to Robin Givens, that was like the late 80s. Brad
Right.
Pitt was fucking
12?
18 years old or something.
I don't know.
He must have just done Cool World or something.
Yeah.
When did Cool World come out?
Yeah, he wasn't that young.
1993, I'll say.
Okay, when
That's
did
probably accurate.
Thelma and Louise?
1990, let's say...
One?
4.
No. It was after 19.
All right.
Was it? I don't know. Fuck.
I don't know.
When
Don't
was-
you have computers everywhere?
Yeah,
Everybody, we're all like, my iPad's the greatest fucking thing ever. And we're sitting here arguing about facts that are easily discovered.
Okay, so Cool World was
When's True
1992.
I was pretty close.
See.
True Romance?
Robin,
True
what's her
Romance.
name? Robin
Givens.
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 Beaten by Mike Tyson.
That was late 80s, guaranteed.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah.
Oh.
It
Maybe.
was right after when he fucking knocked out... God, who was that dude? He knocked out in like one round in like 40 seconds. Michael Spinks or something.
Or maybe I just...
You know, you're right. It's like 1988.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe I was totally wrong then. Maybe he said something completely different. And I was just...
No, dude. I believe he said that.
No.
I believe you're 100% accurate in him saying that.
In 88, Tyson married Robin Givens.
Oh, 88. Married.
when
When they
married.
married.
How old's Brad Pitt?
Old.
IMDb.
Yeah, he's older than...
He'll be 25 forever, so...
Brad...
Okay, can we wrap up this podcast? This sequence
You're the
or
one
not?
fucking keeping talking. Just end it.
I was asking everyone what comic books they were reading.
All right, Brad Pitt
Fine,
is
whatever.
49 years old, so it could totally have been him.
He's really 50 fucking years old.
He was born in 63.
Holy shit.
Jesus.
And I'm born in 74, and I'm 37, so that's, like 48 years old.
Wow.
And on that
Take a
note,
moment on that. Yeah.
We all just sat here and like fucking shed a tear for ourselves. We really just did that. We really were like, fuck, I don't look that good now and I'm 10 years younger.
All right, so we're all going to come on our own faces tonight, boys.
yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, so anyone, I am on Twitter at Ryan Keely. That's RyanKeely. Please pay for your pornography at www.ryankeely.com. I do not want to get a real job. You can follow Chad Kultgen at Chad Kultgen.
Chad at Twitter. What is it? It's Chad Kultgen at Twitter.
And
So
that's-
how does Twitter work?
Twitter.com/Chad Kultgen.
And
Mark
that's
Rubin is...
and that's CHADKULTGEN.
That's right.
And Mark Rubin is IWMARKRUBIN, and I'm Redban, REDBAN.
Sweet.
Bye.
Oh, check out the new Death Squad website where you'll be able to donate right to Ryan Keely, and there's going to be an Amazon wish list for this show so we can have
We want to
fun
do a blackout
items and stuff like
podcast,
that.
so we're going to need sleeping bags.
Yeah, well, that's great. We have a blackout podcast coming soon, maybe a mushroom podcast. Ooh. All right, see you guys.
Go, go, go.